We felt like there's a lot of really cool boats out there, potential for tender for us, but also boats that are just a bit too small to do a full NautiStyles tour.
Out on a calm stretch of blue water, somewhere between one coastline and the next, a camera switched on and invited the world aboard. That's where most viewers first met Rico Stoll and Victoria Shalaya, the couple behind the YouTube channel NautiStyles. What began as simple yacht walkthroughs and candid moments at sea slowly turned into something much more intimate. A window into a life built entirely on the water. Their audience didn't just watch reviews of luxurious vessels. They watched a home being created, wave by wave, harbor by harbor. Rico's meticulous attention to detail and Victoria's warm, welcoming presence turned every video into a small escape. Through their lens, narrow gangways, engine rooms, sun decks, and cabins became part of a living story. Followers started to feel as if they knew every inch of the yachts they toured, and in a way, every corner of Rico and Victoria's floating life. The sea, with all its unpredictability, became the backdrop to their routines. Morning coffees on the aft deck, sunsets framed by masts and skylines, quiet nights at anchor under endless stars. But as NautiStyles grew and their channel gained more attention, something else began to grow alongside it. Curiosity. Viewers didn't just want boat specs and layout tours anymore. They wanted to understand the people behind the camera. How did Rico and Victoria really live when the filming stopped? How did they balance constant travel with the need for rest, privacy, and a sense of home? And what about the dream that so many longtime subscribers had followed from the beginning? Their own yacht project. Was it ever fully completed? And did it turn out the way they had imagined? As the questions piled up, so did the speculation. Were they still living the same way at sea? Had their priorities changed as the channel took off? Had success brought new opportunities or new challenges? Today, we're going beyond the polished tours and cinematic drone shots. We're stepping behind the scenes to explore the journey that unfolded when the cameras weren't rolling. Join us as we take a closer look at what really happened to Rico and Victoria from NautiStyles, and what their story reveals about chasing a dream on the open water.
It was a really emotional project for us, and it meant a lot to us, and that's the reason we wanted to share it with you guys, but we really were not sure how it was going to be received.
Before there were yachts, drone shots, and millions of views, Rico and Victoria lived in worlds that seemed to have nothing to do with the sea. Their lives were rooted in land-based careers, tight schedules, and demanding industries. Yet beneath all of that, they shared something powerful. A willingness to take risks and a relentless drive to follow their passions, even when it meant walking away from stability and starting over. For Victoria, that drive began early. At just 16 years old, she left home and moved to Los Angeles with a single ambitious goal: to become a film director. She enrolled in UCLA's film program, stepping into a world where creativity and competition collided every day. The industry was unforgiving. Everyone around her seemed to be chasing the same dream, and opportunities behind the camera were scarce. To support herself, Victoria made a decision that would quietly reshape her career. Instead of staying behind the scenes, she stepped into the light. She began acting, at first in small roles, then in films, television shows, and eventually commercials. What started as a practical move quickly turned into a real career. Over time, she joined the Screen Actors Guild and spent more than 2 decades working in Hollywood. Acting gave her something she hadn't expected: consistency. There were auditions and rejections, of course, but there were also steady jobs, familiar sets, and a growing network of people who knew her work. Still, even while she acted, the director in her never completely went away. Her creative instincts eventually pushed her toward producing. She wanted to build something of her own, something where she could shape the entire experience from vision to execution. That impulse became reality with Fashion Minga, a live fashion and entertainment show she co-founded. At first, it was just a side project, an experiment, a way to merge performance and style. But the idea caught on. Fashion Minga grew and grew until it became one of the biggest events during LA Fashion Week, drawing massive crowds and placing Victoria's name on the map as a skilled producer and organizer. She was no longer just a performer in someone else's story. She was the one calling the shots. For many people, a successful career in Hollywood, paired with a thriving fashion event, would have been the final chapter. a dream accomplished. But for Victoria, the desire to create and tell stories in new ways never really stopped. The world was changing. Digital media was opening doors that didn't exist when she first moved to Los Angeles. She began to crave a project that combined everything she loved, storytelling, production, lifestyle, and travel, into something more personal. That quiet pull toward a new chapter eventually led her somewhere she had never expected to go, toward the water. Rico's journey to the sea began in a very different place. After finishing school, he joined the military, committing himself to service and structure. When his time in uniform ended, he looked for a way to keep contributing, to stay close to the line between crisis and calm, where decisions matter most. That search led him to become a paramedic. For 6 years, he worked under intense pressure, answering emergency calls, facing life or death situations, and seeing people at their most vulnerable. The work was meaningful, and he took it seriously. But behind the uniform and the ambulance lights, something else had always been burning in the background: music. House music had been a part of Rico's life for as long as he could remember. It wasn't just a hobby, it was an obsession. Long before he ever stepped into a nightclub as a professional, he was collecting tracks, studying DJs, and imagining what it would feel like to control the energy of a crowd with nothing but rhythm and sound. Eventually, that dream grew louder than the comfort of a steady paycheck. At 27, Rico made a choice that would redefine his life. He left behind the security of a 9-to-5 career and moved to Los Angeles to pursue music full-time. The transition was anything but easy. Breaking into the DJ scene meant late nights, uncertain income, and constant travel. There were shows with small crowds, gigs that paid little, and long stretches where the path forward wasn't clear at all. But Rico stayed committed. He practiced relentlessly, pushed his sound, and kept showing up. Slowly, recognition followed. His sets began to stand out. He landed better bookings, bigger stages, and a reputation for knowing how to move a room. In time, his dedication paid off in ways many DJs only dream about. Rico became a resident DJ for Insomniac events, one of the most influential names in electronic music. From there, the milestones kept coming. One of his proudest moments was stepping onto the main stage at EDC Orlando, looking out over a sea of more than 100,000 fans and feeling the entire crowd move in unison to his music. Music also opened unexpected doors beyond the club and festival circuit. At one point, he was hired to DJ on the set of the popular television show Castle, a job that would quietly change everything. It was there, in that blend of Hollywood and nightlife, that Rico met Victoria. They came from different backgrounds, film and fashion on one side, military and music on the other. But the connection between them was immediate. Their conversations moved quickly from work to life, from dreams to the kind of what-if questions that only appear when you meet someone who sees the world the way you do. Neither of them was satisfied with staying in a safe lane. Both had already proven they were willing to walk away from comfort to chase something that felt more honest, more alive. As their relationship deepened, so did a shared vision. Hollywood sets and nightclub stages had given them experience, opportunity, and success. But they also came with relentless schedules and lives tied to specific cities and scenes. Rico and Victoria wanted something different. A lifestyle with more freedom, more movement, and more connection to the world beyond studio walls and club doors. They didn't just want to take vacations, they wanted a life built around exploration. That vision started to take shape when they earned their USCG captain's licenses and bought their first boat, a 47-foot Meridian 408. It wasn't a gleaming super yacht or an ultra-luxury vessel designed to impress from afar. It was practical, livable, and just big enough to become their full-time home. With that purchase, the shoreline stopped being a boundary and became a starting point. They stepped aboard, untied the lines, and began a new chapter that would last for 8 years. Life on the Meridian was far from glamorous. The boat was their home, their office, and their classroom all at once. Every square foot had to earn its place. Storage had to be clever, routines had to be flexible, and comfort was something they learned to define differently. Some days meant peaceful anchorages and quiet mornings with coffee in hand, watching the sunrise over the water. Other days meant unexpected mechanical issues, rough seas, or long hours spent troubleshooting a system that decided to fail at the worst possible moment. Over time, they learned the rhythm of living afloat. They discovered how to balance practicality with small comforts, how to accept that the sea would always have the final word, and how to adapt quickly when plans changed without warning. Those 8 years didn't just teach them how to handle a boat, they gave them stories, real, lived experiences that would later become the backbone of everything they created. After years of living on the water and learning the realities of boat life, Rico and Victoria began to feel a pull toward sharing their world with others. They had knowledge, perspective, and a lifestyle that most people only glimpsed in passing. In 2015, they decided to turn that experience into a platform and launch their YouTube channel, NautiStyles. Their goal was simple but powerful: to showcase yachts and boating life in a way that was both informative and easy to understand without losing the human side of it. From the very beginning, their content stood out. While many videos online focused only on luxury, glossy exteriors, and quick highlights, Rico and Victoria chose a different path. They offered full walkthroughs and in-depth tours. They talked about more than just the price and the brand name. They walked viewers through layouts, explained systems, and highlighted small details that matter when you're actually living on board. They showed how boats really worked, from the sleeping cabins and galleys to the engine rooms and control panels that keep everything running. Their style resonated. Viewers appreciated that the couple knew what they were talking about because they had lived the life themselves. Over the years, NautiStyles grew steadily from a niche channel into one of the most popular yachting channels on YouTube. By 2025, they had uploaded nearly 500 videos, built a loyal community, and reached more than 576,000 subscribers and over 188 million total views. People didn't just come to them for yacht tours, they came for insight, honesty, and a clearer picture of what life at sea could really look like. But the story didn't end with one channel. As their audience grew, so did interest in their personal journey, how they were building their dream, one decision at a time. To meet that curiosity, Rico and Victoria launched a second channel, Naughty Guys. Unlike NautiStyles, which focused on polished yacht tours and professional presentations, Naughty Guys pulled back the curtain. It documented the behind-the-scenes reality of their most ambitious project yet: the construction of their custom Explorer yacht. On Naughty Guys, viewers followed them through shipyards, watched raw steel take shape, and saw the less glamorous parts of building a boat from the ground up. The content included construction updates, walkthroughs of unfinished spaces, and explanations of design choices most owners would never share publicly. It was technical, personal, and deeply revealing. By early 2025, Naughty Guys had grown to more than 120,000 subscribers and over 12 million views, proof that people wanted to follow not just the finished yachts, but the journey of creating them. That journey led Rico and Victoria to Bering Yachts in Turkey, a shipyard known for strong, capable expedition vessels built to handle long voyages and rough conditions. After selling their Meridian 408, they knew they needed something larger, safer, and more suited to the kind of travel they envisioned. Extended passages, remote destinations, and true self-sufficiency. Their first plan was a Bering 75, but as the design evolved, so did their ambitions. The project grew into what would become the Bering 82. The Explorer yacht was conceived as a serious passage-making vessel, built with a steel hull and an aluminum superstructure for strength and durability. Its range and capacity were designed for real exploration, not just weekend cruising. The yacht would be capable of carrying enough fuel and water to travel thousands of miles without frequent stops. Inside, it was planned to accommodate up to 10 guests and 2 crew members comfortably, with layouts tailored for long-term living rather than short-term impressions. Expanded fuel and water tanks, advanced stabilizers, and robust, redundant systems were all part of the plan to create a boat that could cross oceans with confidence. What made this project truly unique, though, was not just the specifications. It was how deeply involved Rico and Victoria were in every stage of the build. They weren't distant owners waiting for a finished product. They were hands-on, They walked the shipyard floors regularly, stepping around welding cables and scaffolding to examine progress up close. They checked wiring runs, reviewed insulation, and studied the layout of the engine room. They watched how plumbing was routed, questioned choices in hardware, and discussed safety systems in detail. They made sure materials, finishes, and design decisions met not only industry standards but their own expectations, shaped by years of living aboard. Their role in the boating world was changing. They were no longer just content creators pointing cameras at finished yachts. With their growing presence and credibility, they began to find themselves invited into spaces not everyone gets to see. Shipyards welcomed them to document builds. Brokers saw value in their reach and expertise. Owners sought their perspective and, in some cases, their help. Building on that momentum, Rico took a major step and launched a yacht management company. Initially, it was a way to help boat owners handle the complex details that come with owning a vessel. Maintenance schedules, service coordination, crew management, and the kind of ongoing oversight that keeps a boat ready to go at any time. Drawing from his experience as a captain and from years of troubleshooting his own systems, Rico knew what to look for and how to keep things running smoothly. Word spread, and soon the company was managing multiple yachts for private clients. As trust in their judgment grew, so did the opportunities. The management business evolved into a broader marine dealership called RJ Nautical. This move allowed them not only to maintain vessels, but also to connect buyers and sellers, oversee brokerage deals, and offer a more complete service. From the moment someone,